Double KO!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Doublekoradio's podcast, episode 62. I'm here with my homie David, and we're going to talk about some Granblue stuff that got announced recently.
Guys, what we want to let you know is some news that came out a couple of days ago, and we felt that we wanted to share with you guys because they're very interesting, right? Arc System and Granblue Fantasy Versus show up this news out of nowhere. It was really late too, maybe because their time frame is different, and it was about three very key points for this game and how they're gonna go about it, kind of like a mini roadmap. One of them was the first thing they mentioned is, hey, there's gonna be a big update, and it's gonna be scheduled for early June, right? No date, it's just early June. Early June is that summer, dude? I don't know.
I don't know. This is something that I'm gonna have to fucking Google and put up on the screen, and then
don't know.
We'll get out of all the things we talk about, we'll get called dumbasses because we don't know when summer starts.
I don't know. I know when it's hot, then maybe summer. That's what I know.
It's gonna be hot enough around that time.
So June, and they mentioned also, hey, there's gonna be some detailed videos coming soon, so maybe more of what they're gonna talk about it. But just the first intro like this, I think this is really interesting because we talk about Evo, right? And we talk about some of the games and stuff like that, and Granblue being there, and Granblue having a lot of entries, right? And being there, wow, this is the time to shine, Granblue. And now with this update, it seems like everything is fitting for them, like everything is going well for them, which is cool, like the gears are turning again in this oil machine that they forgot, and they just like, oh right, we have this game, let's do something for it.
Well, I think last FES festival or whatever, that festival they have, they did mention that by the summertime they would have an update for the game, right?
Yeah.
I think the whole Evo thing definitely makes me feel like, oh, okay, because nobody thinks the end of anything. I mean, nobody thinks it's not going to be the end of a month or the end of a season when it comes to fighting game developers. Every time, for the most part, when they're like, all right, it's coming out in June, you're gonna think it's June 30th, like 11:59 a.m. That's like the closest possible to that truth that they told us will be. That's like when we'll get the announcement or
the set
or
date,
the date like announced for whatever's supposed to happen. But this is actually pretty early. So it might be because of Evo that it's out a little early, or
maybe they made the smart decision to be like, you know what, the eyes are on us. Let's now show it, because maybe other than that, when would they show this? Like I wouldn't even know. To be honest, I was not looking at Granblue anything, and this show up, and I was like, okay, this is cool. So now my eyes are paying attention. Like, okay, I'm listening, and what's going on?
Well, yeah, you even booted up the game again because
I did.
There's so much to play right now, and it's one of the Evo games, yes, but it didn't give me enough emphasis on like going, hey, I'm gonna pick this up again. I know how the game plays. I know what I'm expecting to when I go online, and having a struggle to find people at the times that I'm able to make time to play the game. So I didn't really think anything on it. But now that we're getting a little bit clearer roadmap on what time frames, on what we're getting and when, now it's a little bit more exciting because
it is.
Now maybe I'll be more inclined to go online and test out these new toys that they're gonna have for us before Evo, and be even more excited to watch all of the streams that weekend.
Which is, I definitely, I remember calling you, like, hey, do you have Granblue? Do I have Granblue? Because I couldn't remember. And you're like, yeah, I have it. And I was like, okay, so let me log in and let me download this game. I know it was out of nowhere, and it was definitely because of that. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely was like, let me see if my memory for what I had to how this plays. You know how we always go, did this age well? Kind of thing. And this is not an old game whatsoever.
No, it still looks great.
It looks great.
I know you hate the intro.
I was about to say, it's too grainy. Feels like it was recorded in something else. It's just weird. But they also mentioned, the reason I want to put it up, I know they had a latest patch, which I didn't play much, which definitely added some changes that were like going in the right direction, right? Like opening up more of the game. Let's put it like that, right? More options, more freedom. Even La Diva that I like, I was always mentioning, hey, why can I combo my air grab, right? And they added that, and that was really hype. But last time that happened, I just did that and then turned off the game.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing to look forward to, in my personal opinion, right? But now with this, I booted up again, and I played the game for a little while. And this brings up to my next point of this news. They're saying that they're going to add 3 new actions to this game. Remember, I already had a memory. We played a lot of this game before. And on my latest playthrough before recent, it wasn't nothing exciting, to be honest. I was like, I remember telling you, it plays the same. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, I feel the same. I just couldn't tell what the difference was, at least. So that means that the change was not too broad for me. But now they're saying, hey, in this news, 3 new actions will be added to the version of 2.80. So what does that mean? I'm hoping those are battle actions, gameplay options, right? Because imagine if they're just actions that now you can listen to music. Or...
No. It definitely says on one of the panels they showed. I think it was on some Rage tournament that happened recently. They showed it technically, but we're looking at it through a website that's just kind of condensed it all together. But it does on one of the panels say new battle mechanics.
Okay, battle mechanics.
And then on the bottom under that it says 3 new actions will be added in version 2.80. Update schedule early June. So yeah, the big thing on top does mean new battle mechanics. It's not just gonna be.
I mean, I wouldn't hurt new music and new stuff, but I'm just saying I want a little bit more excitement, right? So
yeah, it'd be nice to have the RPG music playable.
Yes. Yeah,
like the all the music that it has for RPG mode playable when you fight people online. That'd be nice.
Hell yeah! So if it's battle mechanic, that's what excites me the most, and that's what makes me look at what the future of this can be, right? And 3 new, that's very game changing. Sorry for the pun, but 3 new mechanics on a game. 1 mechanic alone. Let's take back a little bit. Street Fighter 5 added 1 new mechanic per big update, right? Like you can choose a different V skill. Remember that?
Yeah.
You could and that was already like the options were so expanded by a tenfold just because you can mix and match V skills and V triggers.
Yeah, you're essentially adding double of a game for a game that already has a decent amount of characters.
Yeah.
So it was pretty big. Like people definitely had to do a lot of testing with their characters, see if playstyles were, or see what was viable, see what playstyles they
adjust or come up with,
or adjust and all that stuff when it came to the characters they play, or maybe even find characters they were deciding that they wouldn't play, and then they got this new toy to play with, and they're like, okay, well maybe let me look at this character again and see if the changes are significant enough that I want to try something different.
And that was 1, right? And I know they added a V shift that is a defensive mechanic later on. And anyway, it might not have made it such a big impact, but once again, 1 little mechanic alone can make the talk already. Can make a lot of mind brainstorm or seeing, being intrigued how this affects the game, because it will impact it in some form of way. Even Samcho did something like that. Remember when they added some gameplay mechanics and some adjustment? Yeah. I don't remember that.
It's it was a kind of a defensive one, and honestly, like I checked in like a year or so later, I didn't see too many people really utilizing it, so I don't know how much it actually changed
of the gameplay
itself for how that game plays. But then again, let's say if it's a mechanic like, let's say if DNF Duel didn't have conversion, right, and then on some update or whatever, and people are saying the game's kind of bland, then it just adds conversion. It'll completely change. Yeah, it'll completely change how the game opens up. So I think it also depends on what exactly gets shown
and implemented. Correct. So that's why I'm being hopeful, because even if it's in a form of way, I'm just to be positive. Even if it's tame, the changes they make, 3 actions already can make. Even if it's tame, can make a big impact. That's what I'm hoping. And if it's big changes, even more, right? So it's exciting. What do you think when you hear 3 new changes? Do you feel like this is like a Granblue 2 or 1.0, like 1.5 or something like that? Do you feel like that's what it means for this?
I'm hopeful that it just opens things up for pretty much the entire cast to be more flexible, gameplay in general. Like there's a lot of mechanics that I in the game already that I enjoy because they're all universal. So I think whatever it is definitely going to be like super universal and attainable for any character, no matter what playstyle they play. Because you got like the overheads are universal. There's jumping, high jumping. Everybody has an aerial throw,
a lingering jumping attack, right?
Yeah. The throw breaks are cool because the throw break is a skill based thing, right? So if you add something like how throw break works here, being a skill based thing, being like you throw break early, so you're both at a neutral state, or you broke the throw late, and then you're at a disadvantage because you got to get up from the floor because you threw it late. Like, that's interesting. I like that there's two versions of dodge, where it's like you stay in place or you move forward. Whether it works that well or not right now, maybe they can adjust that too. But I still like all of those mechanics, because let's say you're a character that has a tougher time against zoning, and nobody likes zoning nowadays. So
a diva.
Yeah, like at least you have a universal tool that is still open to anybody that can help you get through those.
Can benefit from that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and before I go into like what I would think would help with the game, like my personal preference, you actually played it recently, like you mentioned with La Diva.
Yes.
So you have it fresh in your mind. Like, what do you think where you would put your thoughts on when it came to like which three things you'd want to change?
Yeah, and just like you said, me playing it recently, I think it gave me a better insight instead of what I remember, right? Because you can remember a game how I played before, but that was such a different mindset. It probably was so many different factors. Me playing it now fresh, I only play one character too, just so I can focus on adapting and learning again.
Around.
Yeah, this time around for sure.
Just want to make that clear, because I'm like, this motherfucker played mad characters.
I did
like,
before.
What are you talking about?
Before, but this time I just stick to one character, right? La Diva and stuff like that. But if before even being biased about one changes that will help this specific character that I play, what I want, the experience that I got was a very similar of what I got a couple of years ago. And what I want from these changes are something that brings excitement. I want to be excited when I play this game. And what I mean by that, it means like once again, just to go to the latest game that got an update, right? Street Fighter 5. When they did the latest update and they opened up the game, I think the idea was to make it exciting. Opening the options in terms of like what you do in the game is fun. And it's not just because it's strong, it's because it's fun to do. And I want that the options that we have in this game, you mentioned like the spot dash, you mentioned like the roll. I want that the mechanics that they add or the gameplays that they add is fun. The team is fun, right? Because if the gameplay things that you add is like a stronger super or a stronger anti-air, those are cool, but they're necessarily not fun because you already kind of do those things, So I want them to at least focus in the fun factor. What will be fun in here, right? Would it be a universal wall bounce for everyone, right? Because not everyone kind of has it. Or is it, can you pick up people from the floor now, right? And continue to extend certain combos. Things that everyone can benefit in some form of way, but they're just universal tools that it's up to the player to make something out of it, right? I don't want it to be like, well, the gameplay options is that everyone has a sparking mode. Technically, it helps with combat, but it's not necessarily fun, or an X factor. It's not necessarily fun.
And
I want something that...
And this is a game, too, that's known for the people that do like it for not having much of a comeback mechanic in the game. So I don't think in that respect, too, like it would be something that, for the most part, people would want. Because the people that play the game still are hardcore liking this game. So I don't... Yeah. And I think people something that could... I think something like a comeback mechanic added to the game would be like low on their list of things that they want. I agree too, and it falls also into they're technically not that fun, to be honest, because most likely combat mechanics are mostly not well received in most fighting games in some aspect, right? In some aspect, of course. But so me playing this, I still was enjoying it because I like, and when I play fighting games, of course, I like to look for the fun part of it, the things that motivates me to do. And I feel like I reached that part really quickly, right? Like what could I do with my character, and in the combat, what could it unfold? And it's about, it happens way too quickly. And it's about fun too, like you mentioned too. Like, just to be clear, in case anybody gets a little confused, in case some sweaty dude is listening to us right now, it's not because he didn't want to like do intricate like character specific labbing or anything like that. It's about what's fun that's left over to do.
Correct. I mean? Leftover is the best part.
Yeah.
because I definitely was doing things with my character, and I was doing, combos and anti-airs, mixing, doing the mind games, the footsies. Those are fun stuff, but I feel like it reached that cap really quickly, and even with me, even with people that seems like they were super high rank, right, master rank or whatever the case may be, they were playing clearly almost to the same level as me. In terms of like the gameplay wise, they were not doing something game breaking or doing something that would be like, whoa, how does he even came up with that? It wasn't any of that.
And I think that's honestly, like, that could be a detriment, but it's also one of the beautiful things about the game, where it's like there's a simplicity to it that makes you go back to like focusing on what's like fundamentally who's better, or fundamentally
it wasn't a skill issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't absolutely a skill issue. I could already tell what the character was gonna do even without me playing that character, because there was not any other option that he could have done. You get me, in a way.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of, dude? It reminds me of like Smash videos of that I don't have respect for, by the way. If it's a compilation where you're gimping people and all I'm seeing is people gimping Captain Falcon or anybody else that's like really easy to gimp out, like it's like it's almost like what options the characters with the very limited options in that game are when they are trying to come back onto the stage. So you already know it's like it's like rock paper scissors, instead of like, crap, this villager or whatever can fly and can do this other
can teleport.
Yeah, like, this guy teleports back on. Like it's like to that point where it's like it's simple to a point where you're like, all right, it's either one of these three things. Cool. Yeah, next. Now it's my turn.
ABC. Yeah. And it's not a rock paper scissors ABC either. It's just literally A, B, or C. Like, there's no other way to go around it. So what am I looking forward to after having that experience, after seeing firsthand what the game was about, and still feel a little bit limited in that aspect of the gameplay flow? I want them to. I noticed that there was a lot of mashing, right? I feel like, and I tell you, I was like, I don't remember this game being so mashy, right? But in this game, regardless if you press the light attack, the medium attack, or the heavy attack, if you connect in a proximity, you might be able to continue with an auto combo, and that auto combo can lead to an EX move, etc., etc., which is good, right? Some of them have more priority, because if you start with a light, the light attack is faster, etc. But it all leads to the same auto combo. It's like if in Dragon Ball you start with light punch, it does an auto combo. But if you do an auto combo with medium punch, it ends up being a different auto combo.
Yeah.
And some games do that. This game doesn't. This game has a universal auto combo for the whole cast, and regardless of the button that you start with, it ends in the same result. I think that would be the first change.
Even if there's any kind of difference in animation, it's still the same thing. It could be a different animation or whatever, but it's still the same thing. It's still a chain of three hits into a special.
Yeah. Correct. It's not even. No one has like 6-hit auto combos. Like not. Oh, this person's gonna. Even the guy with the claws or something like that. I figured that he would do like a 7-hit auto combo that leads to the same damage or some crap like that. But they don't. So that's one of the first thing I think that would change. And why would I? In what way I would like that to change? The reason I wanted to change is because then it becomes less brain dead, right? It becomes more like, am I gonna start with my light auto combo because it leads me to certain type of outcome that I want, or my medium or my heavy? That alone opens up a lot.
Yeah.
Because then if the auto combo changes, then that means the combo route changed, and then that's when you can mix light, medium, heavy, or light with heavy, medium, like kind of like a gauntlet, that you can combo and stuff like that. But still in that auto combo area, right? Like, you're still not expanding more than auto combo, but you're mixing the option on how the heavy, the light, and the medium ends and changes. Maybe you want to start an example, a diva or a combo with medium ends with a launcher, right? The heavy ends with a sweep, and the light ends with the regular neutral that you have. And that opens already more stuff, right? Because then you don't know on block which auto combo they're doing or which route they're gonna end. It becomes less predictable. Because right now in the game as it is, if someone's hitting you with an auto combo, you know that all you have to do is block, because there's no low that goes after, and either overhead that they can manually do. That's it.
I was gonna kind of let you do whatever three you had, but this one's technically one of mine, and it stems from the same thing. I was gonna say add some type of like almost like a Gatling system or a reverse beat system that kind of opens up block strings, because I just think
Yes.
block strings are really boring and predictable.
Super
in the game.
boring, not fun.
And like if you're blocking, you're kind of seeing the same thing over again. And it's not even like a Dragon Ball. At least nobody likes to block in Dragon Ball, but it's still more interesting because you got assists and you got different specials, and you could like jump cancel off of certain things to go behind people. And even when you go behind people, you still have the option to go high or low and have another assist. And then like you got a whole lot of other things to do. But in here, it's just kind of like that's one of the more repetitive things to do.
Yeah, even in a game like, let's say, BlazBlue, that's 101, right? You still, I know it has faster and it does air dash, but even the block strings are kind of interesting because at any point there's probably a command grab or a different move that does something lingering, and then it's so different.
You're talking about
right?
BB tag, right? Or
no?
Oh no, Blaze
Central Fiction.
Okay. Like, I just want to make sure I didn't.
No, BB tag, where it's gonna end, but. And Central Fiction is so open.
I heard BB tag, so I'm like trying to follow. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember what he's talking about. BB tag. All right, maybe
I probably said BB tag. Sorry, but no, Central Fiction is the one I was trying to mention. And if we go through something more recent, right? DNF. Some of the things that people say is that there's no way to open up characters, or because the block string were kind of the same. But the good thing that DNF, in my opinion, does is that the block string is up to you in a way. Right, you can cancel the move. You do a move a certain way. There's a lot of more room. Right, they have the conversion option. There's just a little bit more tools to play around with that. I feel that they should add something similar to that in this game.
And
at least to spice it up.
And your specials too, depending on what special you do, leaves you at a totally different place. Especially if you're somebody like Vanguard, where he cancels his specials into other options.
Yep. And you took me to, that's a great segue, because the next thing that I want them to change is the special moves. When I came back to this game, I was doing all manual inputs, all of them. Everything was a manual input. Because the previous game that I was playing, which is funny enough, is DNF, and DNF everything is a button, like a button in a, it has a symbol.
Yeah, direction, like.
Correct. And here, I remember that doing that would deteriorate the cooldown of my move, so I couldn't do it as often. So I was like, hey, doing the motion gives you a faster cooldown. I still felt like I was so limited. There was time that I would connect a combo and be like, oh, my move is on cooldown. That's not fun. Whoever thought that was fun, that's not fun at all.
Yeah.
Imagine you getting a reward of a hit and, oh, my thing is on cooldown. My bad, bro.
Yeah, like that's another thing too. Like maybe they can add something where it's like, if it's in combo, maybe there's like, you still have moves. I don't know, because it's like, I've mentioned before that I like the difference between DNF's meter system and compared to this one, because like the meter is just you choose what moves you do, right? And but in this one it's like you did a move, you got to stop doing that move.
Yeah, and it's not even if the gameplay cycle of this game is that they don't want, just an example, they don't want you to spam the move, right, or do the move as often. Some moves don't follow the same criteria. An example, if I do a EX move, by the time that you recover and come back to me, I may have, if I'm delaying the combo or backtracking or footsing or whatever, I may have the cooldown again.
Yeah.
But if I hit you consistently, is when I cannot use it.
Yeah.
So I'm getting punished for hitting you, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not fun at all, dude. That's worse than the wall break mechanic on Strive, because in Strive, you're getting rewarded for breaking the wall by getting you more meter, right?
Yeah.
Even though the game goes neutral, you hit him again, you know what, the wall break, you're going back to neutral, but you got more special moves. So that means you got more resource to do more stuff.
Yeah, because
here it's not.
Yeah, it feels like you're getting, like, I'm surprised people haven't complained about it more. I guess it's because it's more subtle. It's more subtle than a whole wall crashing through a whole stage and all that stuff, but it definitely feels,
they're gonna add wall crash.
It definitely doesn't feel good to be like you're messing this dude up so bad that you've run out of resources, so that there's kind of hindering you on the options and stuff you had before to continue that going. And what are you stuck with? Just a normal block string
with auto combos that they're crappy looking. An example, my recent experience, I was with Ladiva, playing with Ladiva. She has a really fast clothesline that you can duck, right? But whatever, so you can use it for certain punish. I managed to punish them, right? And I'm continuing combo. Yeah, I'm gonna do the combo. I'm doing this. Oh, I'm gonna do my clothesline too. Oh, I used it earlier. so now I can't use this. What is that? Like, dude, that is
like even
that's
even
not
if
fun.
I guess I get if we get set down right
Mm-hmm.
by whoever designed the game and they explain to us their theory, like they go on the board, like Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like, look, this is where your brain where our brain was at when it came to why we created this whole system around cooldowns and all that stuff. And then my rebuttal is just going to be, okay, well, that's not as fun.
No,
it's just not as fun.
And I know where it comes from. It comes from their mobile game. In their mobile game, when you activate your special moves, it does have a cooldown for like unto 2 turns, 3 turns, 1 turn. Depends on the type of move.
Yeah.
And they, it's cool because it relates to the game. Do that shit in story mode.
Yeah.
put that in story mode.
Yeah.
Where it resembles the game the most, the mobile, and take that off from the fighting game and put it in the regular versus cooldown. No cooldown.
Dude, I honestly didn't even think about that because I was like, oh, well, maybe people won't. It's like a novelty thing, right? Because you're like, oh man, that's cool. That's like the game that I came from. That's awesome. But then again, it does make sense. Like, look, it can still be in the game. It's in the RPG mode.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, it just hinders, right? This moves, like I was mentioning, it just hinders the gameplay flow. It just makes it stale. And then, like you mentioned, what you have left, the really basic auto combos that leads to nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a special move, it leads to nothing. You can even do there's no auto combo that does a hard knockdown. There's nothing that does it splatters you on the wall or it juggles you after that. None of them. So maybe a rework of that would be fantastic,
One thing I think that would help with that aspect that you're talking about was something I wanted from the beginning, which this game doesn't really have, and it's not going to be something that gets added in. Like I would put it in there, like as a new action, but it's not a mechanic. It's that there's no extra command normals anywhere. To make maybe those things be stuff that you mix in during block strings to either make you safe or continue pressure or do something crazy like to have different properties or even in neutral have like different options when you run out of your skills to use, especially for people that use the direction instead of the input the input instead of the directions that aren't as adept to playing fighting, and it'll make it more fun for them to still feel like they have more options to cycle through, even though they're out of certain options.
Yeah, it's like they're overheat.
I'm overheating.
So you what do you do now? Once again, DNF so cool that even when you run out of resource, your combo strings are so cool. You can juggle without super moves. You can pick them up from the floor without super moves because their normal hits and extension of the normals are like special moves. So technically, even when you're exhausted, you have less resources, but you still can do stuff. You can still fight.
Yeah.
And here it feels like, I gotta wait. Give me a second. So I hope they do change that in a special move. If they want to keep it true to the game, put it in story mode. Story mode will be probably more challenging. Will be cooler. Story mode is cool, don't get me wrong, in that game, but put all that in there and then let's have fun in this fighting game side.
It's been 2 years. Let's focus on making a more open, fun, wild experience for people that doesn't put like a couple spectators to sleep.
I think a cool factor would be maybe add passives on this game. And the game itself has like jobs and different classes has different attributes and stuff like that. And some of the characters here are a specific class. Add them when you run out of your resources. That pops up and that allows you to do, like you mentioned, more stuff.
There's a thing too that I noticed that characters have that means nothing. It means absolutely nothing in this game, which is what element type they are.
Oh yeah, wind,
wind,
water,
fire,
stuff
earth,
like that,
all that stuff.
Do something
Heart,
with that.
Captain, go planet, or whatever.
That would be sick, dude. That if you're fighting a character, let's say I'm fire and you're whatever is weak to fire, then my hits you harder. That would suck.
That would suck, but maybe it'll do something else that's not that. You know what I mean? Because then
That
it's
would
definitely
fucking
like completely destroys matchups. Like, oh, this is a 3-7.
Dude, that would be horrible if you're listening.
Like
Granblue or anything. Please don't have that.
imagine being Ladiva and you're weak to an element, and that element happens to be against a zoner. Like,
Oh my god. And then what's the point, you know? It's I guess I died.
but again,
you know,
it all depends on how it's implemented, right?
Yeah.
It could sound like a crazy
yeah.
idea, but then it's like, all right, let's use our brains really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try really hard and use our smart brains to make this something that functions for this game.
And they have Arc System, dude. They have come up with very interesting type of gameplays most of the time. They have really intricate ideas. They're not out of resource. They're not out of resource in terms of money. They're not out of resource in terms of a team. So they can make this happen, right? Of a third action that I can think of, to be honest, I would like I will have like a rehole of a bar, and I will have like a meter bar, right?
Dude, what the fuck? We
like
didn't talk, and you keep taking my shit, but saying it in different ways.
Because we high
Because mine's is basically rework the meter system.
Yeah, and then have a bar. Yeah, that would be me. And it doesn't have to be DNF, but I mean, if it is, sure. But if it's not, then I will rework that and have a bar so it can be more. It doesn't mean, well, I like when it was cooldown because I didn't have to worry about the percentage. That's fine. Just make it that you can still do a bunch of stuff, like all the time. But have a bar, because then that opens up for more special attributes, installs, or like, you know, different things, power-ups, and things that you can do that they're fun. I don't just want to do like another super. Yeah, another super is cool, but it's not as fun as, you know, powering up your character or doing something that leads you to something else. You know, come on, man. They can. Imagine the diva does a super and it's a ring around you, and now when she does certain things or special grabs, they're more harder or something. Dude, that sounds so cool. Like, you know,
that would be cool.
that would be dope. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options they can add. They have a whole game, mobile game. They have a bunch of stuff they can add in here. In terms of story, right? If they add story, they can add different things, more raids, maybe 4-player modes.
Yeah, they have.
But I'm really focusing in the battle.
They have like the boss battle stuff too. But I think if they make it more like Dragon Ball, where it feels like some type of team effort instead of people just going there to get like the best time, then I think it'll be something that people will pay attention to a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that this definitely focuses on the battle since you mentioned that. So I'm hoping they rework that, right? And they give a hint with Digita, you know, turning hair blue and doing her super with all these different weapons. I don't know, man. Do something cool like that for everyone.
Yeah, it's hard to say though too, because like even with me, I hate when people like and hate is a strong word, so maybe I'll change it around. So
you hate it.
So I hate when people I didn't change it. I do hate. I hate when people say they want things changed or want things different, but just don't have give any kind of constructive insight on as to what, or have any idea on as to what they would do. They just would want it different.
They just wanted to change. I wanted to change, but like, so what do you want to change? I don't know. I just wanted to be different.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm kind of like that with the meter system, because it's kind of bland. It's just kind of, this is one of the things that feel the most repetitive when it comes to fighting. It's just like you cash out early, and if for some reason the game stalls long enough, which means not compelling as gameplay as you would want. If it stalls long enough for a second chance at a super, then you get another super, or you get like the whole like better Skybound art at the end because your life bar is at a certain level or whatever, and it's cool, but it's the same thing it's one of the things that I feel like that's the exact same thing every round. So I would like something that just feels a little bit more. This one's honestly, it's just I don't know. I just would like it to. Yeah, for me, it'd just be like I'm open for some kind of change there. I just haven't been able to think of something that I wouldn't like take from another game. I still would want it to be its own interesting thing that they come up with. But I'm not sure.
I mean, even the positioning where the moves are, and we mentioned this many moons ago. Sometimes I don't know what move I have. I don't know what move is punch in there. Like I don't know what that is. I know the move rotation and I know which one I have. I just don't know which one I have active. I have to have a memory game on me to remember that.
Let's say if you play all the Shotos, because this game has too many Shotos already. Let's say if you play all 5 hybrid Shotos, then maybe you'll have a decent time understanding it. But then what if you play an Armaya that has technically 2 sets of those, or someone that doesn't have a DP or a regular fireball? Then it becomes a little bit more confusing. And this game is like easy to pick up multiple characters, but then you gotta like try and not mess up trying to do the right move when it comes to those little weird icons on the top of the screen.
Yeah, that's why I say maybe if they go more the route of DNF is where I'm gonna lean more, because even if they don't have showing you what you have active or what can you do, is because the bar lets you do either or. You don't need to know which active you have because it's all about your resource. So I know people will complain, and there's people that hate probably that since it came out, the moves card things. But once they remove it, people are gonna hate it because it's just how it is. And even if they leave it and they add something else, people are gonna hate it because obviously people don't like changes. People are afraid of changes, but they want changes.
I think if they're worried about moves being too strong, just make them a little bit more negative.
No, make them cooler.
No, dude, I'm saying like, if they're worried about people like, oh, but if you got an invincible DP all the time, what are people gonna do? Just have it be more punishable. Have it be more punishable. Yeah. That's what I meant by be more negative, like negative frames or whatever.
Or you have the invincible DP all the time, while my character has all these extra tools that can probably go around it or do these things. You know, like they mentioned DNF, when everyone is broken, everyone is doing all these crazy things. You know, no one is broken. So I say rehold that whole card system, put a bar or if you're gonna keep the card system, make it more accessible and let us do those moves. And then when you burn that card, then you do like a super version of that move, not a EX, like a super kinda. Like you literally are doing a super move, and that's the reason. Like, oh, boom, I burned out that card. So now you know that what you do. You still can do your regular move and your regular EX move. You just don't have the super move. You know, like I don't know. So that seems like if you want to keep that card faction, seems fun because you're doing newer, cooler stuff that you can go through. You still feel limited in a way if you have to burn a meter for something like that. I don't know. What's up with lately these games, fighting games, limiting the fun? It's like, no, we can't have them have fun. We gotta limit them, and if they can do something, it has to be either or.
I don't know, because I don't remember the games being so insane that people...
They're not Marvel.
People were like, nobody likes this. This is too insane. Yeah, Marvel was one of the most watched. You mentioned Marvel, but that was one of the most watched fighting games for like 5 years. 4 or 5, like 4 or 5, like 4 years. Like the first 4 years, everybody was on that Marvel crack.
And there's no limit. It's not like, oh, you did Virgil Helmbreaker once, you're gonna do it twice. You know, like imagine that. That would have sucked. That would have been so bad. So please. I know for the sake of balance and stuff like that, but being limited in the things that you can do in a fighting game does not seem fun. So open those options, let us do more moves, let us do more EX move, and give different properties to this move too. Ground bounce, wall bounce, I want it all. You know, I want more air juggles.
Yeah, I would love
maybe certain EX leads to more hits on, because you can only do like 2 or 3 hits on unless it's in the corner.
Block strings that lead to different situations, whether it be you want it plus on block, you want to be safe and you roll, you end up rolling backwards or being pushed back, or even if it's through the specials or whatever, but just something that's maybe you want to be airborne after like a certain hit or I don't know, just stuff that makes you have to think about 10 different options and not just the same 3.
And that leads also to the dodge and roll mechanic like you mentioned, right? Like I feel like it's very underwhelming here. It has its function, but it's very underwhelming. It feels like it's something that wasn't retouched or wasn't considered as much. And it feels weak.
It'd be funny if the 3 actions were all about that. It's like, now you can roll to cancel into a jump, or now you can spot dodge to like jump neutral jump, or now you can you can prone like an army
Solid Snake. That sounds so deep.
New pounce mechanic after you roll.
La Diva will have a tough time, but yeah, I believe in her. Make those in fun, like in a way that I feel like, because I just got paused.
No, I'm not. I'm just imagining somebody army proning like really slow and trying to figure out why that makes sense that you want to do it.
In a fighting game, of course. Yeah, if you're gonna dodge, if you're gonna do those rolls or spot dodge, I think that should be, it should give you something, you know. It should be that when you do that, it makes your moves stronger. It makes your, you know, everything I want it to be is power up. Your max crank does level up to 100, right? So if it's faster my spot dodge and I read like a heavy attack, then maybe my heavy attacks are stronger now, or light attack are gonna be faster. So then now the opponent has to think, what am I hitting that if he dodges it, I'm gonna give him a boost, you know, that I don't want him to do, you know? That would be cool. Maybe if I throw a special move and he dodged my projectile, now he can throw 2 projectiles at me. Some wow shit, you know. I want them to really break this game, man, in a way that it's just everyone's gonna be playing it. And of course, adding more new features. But if they're gonna keep the same one, I want them to enhance them and level them up to 100. Yeah. But that's all I have for that. Game changes mechanics.
I agree with everything. Honestly, I agree with. I'm like, there's so little like. This, don't get me wrong, this is a great game. This is a beautiful game. It's a fun game in short spats for me. But no matter what they do, if it opens up gameplay, I'm for it. Like whatever the idea is, you know, like whatever if it opens up the floodgates for more individuality, I guess, for per player on how they play their characters and stuff.
Personality,
like then I'm all for it, you know. Like there's so much not in this game that leads to that anything that leads to it will be good.
Yeah, there's no way to be like, oh, like an example, that's Omito Johnny, right? And no one plays like that guy, you know. That guy is insane with that character specialist, right? Character specialist and stuff like that.
And
I agree.
Closing it out,
survey, right?
they're letting us know about all these surveys. They had results for different regions, for Japan, for Asia and Oceania, for North America, South America, and for Europe.
And this was a popularity vote, right? Like characters that people want, right? Or the most. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have those pictures in front of your face?
I do. I do. So I don't make me say those names.
I don't want to. Yeah, I know you'll butcher them. I'll butcher them too. But I will have no regrets on how I pronounce any of these names. So
I have them,
if you have them, I just want you to tell me which region would you prefer? Which region's choices do you like the most?
The most?
Out of all the picks.
I'm a little biased, so I'm going to say Europe. But I have a reason why I say Europe.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I want to know the reason too.
Okay. The reason that Europe is, it still has the top 3 that everyone has. The Beatrice, the Siegfried, and all that stuff.
Who's the first one? You were saying names.
Don't make me say these names.
You said Beatrice, you said Siegfried, just fine.
Beatrice and Siegfried, yeah. I sounded like I said Dickfried. And then they have a character that I wanted, which is Alisa, whatever. And she's in North America. She's in North America and South America and Europe. But she's the highest in Europe. So that's why I'm being biased by that. But this one also has the last 2 characters or 3 characters. They're completely different, right? Like John the Arc is there. Like that's something that you saw anywhere else. They have someone called a Black Knight. She looks cool.
But I just hope she doesn't play like, you know, there's so many regular swords.
Yeah, it could be anything.
But like hope her place. I'm sure her place will be a little different.
I feel Europe has a perfect mix of what most of Asia has and some of the North America has. That it feels like a perfect blend, to be honest, in my personal opinion, and with brand new faces there. That's
they got 2 draft. Europe, right? They got 2 draft women.
Yeah, and they have like 1, 2, 3. I don't know if the Black Knight is a guy. Oh, it's a girl. So mostly girls, but the guys that they're there, they look edgy enough.
They're like literally the next most popular dudes.
Really? Yeah, okay, so there you go. You see?
Except for maybe Cell Phone.
Lucilius.
He's like up there, but I don't. There's like 10 other dudes that are like, you know, husbandos.
Yeah, at least to be honest, dude. Because some of them in the other one, they look like clone characters. Like legit, they look like clone characters. So in Europe, at least I can see some diversity in there. In terms of, if I look at it, like really looking at it, you definitely see the diversity. And maybe it's because of the Black Knight there, right? The Black Knight fully armored there shows more diversity in terms of everything else.
And she looks completely different than the girl next to her. And then the girl next to her looks completely different than the girl above her. And then the 3 guys look different, except I don't know, Xenophone. Well, he has wings. He's, you know.
Yeah, but those have to be there. Like they're like a mandatory. And then the rest look kind of different for me. So that's why I'm going Team Europe.
Yeah.
Team Europe is what I want. And they mentioned that obviously doesn't mean that the characters here that might not come up. It's just this is the popularity vote, right? They'll
take it into consideration because they have planned already. The voice actress for Beatrix are already was in the game for story mode, and so was Cell Phone or whatever his name is. Cell phone 7, whatever his name is. Like they both have voice actors in the game, so those people are gonna be like voted for even more so, because they're like, dude, they're already there. They got a character model. Blah.
Just make it happen.
Blah. It is cool. Like the Beatrix voice actress, she actually commented on the video on our channel. It was cool.
Oh yeah, that was super hype. Yeah, absolutely. That's even more recent. She's gonna be.
Yeah, like obviously she's number one pick for Doublekoradio.
Shout out for Beatrix. And what does this mean right after this survey? It just means for me, for Granblue, definitely looking forward. I'm gonna keep my eyes closed to see on June whatever they say, because they're gonna show some videos and see if it's appealing, to see if it's something that's gonna be okay. I'm gonna definitely play it because I already had a recent experience. Evo's gonna appear after, which is gonna be very interesting, having a patch right before, right? So definitely that means that whatever you expected to win before most likely has a lesser chance to win if the game is that drastically changed, which makes it more interesting, right? You're not knowing already what is going to happen.
Last year, the way it kind of left out, everybody was kind of in a place where like there is an update coming, but what does it really mean still? Like, but with this whole like character polls and stuff, it just feels like the only reason you would put something up here is because most likely you got plans to keep supporting this game when it comes to content, and hopefully what everybody's hoping for, which would be better online, because that's what would really cement most of the negative stuff about the game being died down by the Twitterverse, you know. So so
at least make it crossplay. If you're not gonna add rollback, make it crossplay at least,
or both.
So then you can play with.
Imagine
PC.
that, dude. Like,
I mean, yes.
See, like that'll be the Evo announcement. Oh, we got crossplay and rollback season 2. Yeah, coming with like these.
Oh, people will go nuts.
These next 5 characters
for like 1 week.
Thank God I bought this game for $20. Oh my God.
I mean, the future does look exciting for them. Granblue, it definitely is in the roadmap of many people now. Like, it's definitely more eyes in it, more talk about it. From a game, quote unquote, as always been said is dead, yet people still played it, and it's gonna be an Evo. Still looks great. I don't care what anyone says, the game still looks great. The animations are really cool. The music is fun. So we just want more of it. I just feel like they were holding back for so long, man. This just time to crank it to 100 and let us enjoy this game.
Side games, keep pumping that money in.
Yeah, I mean, they're short on it. They need more.
That money in side games. Why did they buy like 9% of Twitter?
I mean, they might still have.
Is that why they're short on money? Are they contesting somebody else?
Probably themselves. But yeah, that's all I got definitely for Granblue for this news. If you guys want to chime in and tell us who you guys think the most, can you post the link for this in the video?
Link for what?
For the Gematsu.
Yeah, I'll put it on the description or on the comment or whatever. Like, it'll be easy.
So you guys want to see there, and then comment who you guys think the most. If you guys satisfied with this list of like the poll list, or even what I mentioned about the gameplay changes. So if you have your own, please let us know if you played it recently or not. I know someone here in the channel has played with us. Don't remember their names.
Yeah,
but I remember you guys play against us.
We kind of fucked them up. I don't know if they're with us anymore.
I don't know. Maybe they're wrong.
But at least we were very nice and very supportive when we play people, and they were like, "No, I suck." Blah blah blah. Dude, nobody cares. Come on, just have some fun. So it's super casual. We're casuals too, but hopefully we'll do that again if we get excited enough about the game.
So stay tuned, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, let us know anything that you think about Granblue related or not, please let us know. We want to hear more from you.
Yeah,
Okay?
list them down, guys. Maybe I should have said that in the first 15 seconds, but let us know who you want as DLC for season whatever. Peace out.
I'm pretty sure they won't have nothing to say.
Well, we'll see. Nobody's that opinionated in this on Earth.
Ever. Why are you guys liking
Why are you
stuff?
liking things that I don't like? That recently happened too. We'll talk about that later. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, you got it. Peace out.
Dude, that recently happened with some dude that wanted, the guy that I said I wanted music, but I got one song and I said, fuck it, let me just get this one song, let me find it since I have it, put it up, hook him up that way since he can't find it anywhere, and it'll feel good because it'll feel like my channel has something that nobody else has. So I put it up, and then immediately he gets into some argument. It's not him, but he just accidentally gets into an argument with a guy because he's like, I told him the comments, so he's like, yeah, I fucking love this song, something like that. And then the other guy's like, yeah, I love this song too, something, but Strive music sucks, or something like, I don't know, somebody said Strive music. It was the first guy, the initial guy I gave this stuff to, because the guy likes Guilty Gear music, and then the other guy was like, yeah, but it's too bad, Strive music sucks. And then the other guy's like, do you know that you don't, opinions, blah, 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 are different. So he went about it the wrong way, so they just kind of went at it for a little bit. I didn't even get into it. I didn't have the strength.
Do you like the comments?
I liked the ones that were positive, because I was like, I like the ones that are positive, guys, from both of them. I liked one from both, but then fighting, you can't change anybody's mind online. You know what I mean? So
no, impossible.
Just enforce that you like something. Like, the way to do it would be like, instead of going like, the guy says Strive OST sucks, and then you going, well, you know the opinions of the world, blah blah. You just be like, hey man, I still really like it. Done. Like,
yeah, it doesn't change that,
because you're not gonna change that dude's opinion.
It doesn't. Are you still recording?
No, why?
Okay. Oh, because I was gonna open this.
Open what?
That's something that.
What do you mean? Open what? Just fucking tell me. I'm not recording. If it's a fucking dildo box, just tell me.
Then he was like,
you just drop it, scares the shit out of Ali.
And then you hear, and then I can't pick it up because I'm nervous.
Sorry, it's my new mic. It has a vibrate option.
Oh my god.